You come back in the door, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. And she said, all right, baby. And she, Assalamu alaikum, I love you, baby. And she said, well, what's the matter, baby? No, I'm not baby anymore. I'm Khalid Rasul Kareem Rahman. You go on. She said, nigga, I know you. You Willie Bobo. When you go and take 30 minutes of karate. Try to slant your damn eyes in the mirror. Want to eat chop suey and egg foo young all the time. We just wild. Robbed so thoroughly of a knowledge of self until everybody's culture makes an impression on us. The best way to defeat the oppressor's culture and alien culture is to live your own. It's to live your own. That's the best way to defeat it. New Testament Malcolm went back to Saudi Arabia after he had been the first time. And he went in and he came, he wrote postcards back. He sent letters back saying, here I am in Mecca, and it's a sight to behold. Here I am, he said, sleeping on the same mat, eating from the same bowl, drinking from the same cup, with men whose skin is the whitest of white, whose hair is the blondest of blonde, whose eyes are the bluest of blue. This proves that it can work, that integration can work. He was interviewed. He said, I was in Mecca, he said, and I was with men whose skin would be considered white in Mecca. He said, but they had Islam. And he said Islam made them different. Islam didn't allow them to act like racists. And that's what the white man in America needs, Malcolm said. He needs Islam. Well, wait, let me tell you something. I've been to Mecca 8 times. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I came back each time believing that the white man was more the devil after I got back than before I went over there. There are Muslims who don't want you to talk about this. We got to deal with the truth. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. There is no division in Islam. There is no invidious class distinction in Islam. I'll be damned. I was in Mecca at the Mitar, or the airport. The biggest delegation to come to Mecca is represented by the blue, black, purple, black Nigerians and Senegalese from West Africa. West Africa sends the biggest delegation. Some of our brothers and sisters so beautiful, so black, looked like they would spit ink. It's black. Spit black ink. I saw some of them, their greatest dream, even though they might be 70 or 80, some in their 90s, is to just make it to the holy city of Mecca one time in their life before they pass on. Some of them want to die in Mecca. That's their dream their whole life through. I saw elder sisters looking like they were 80 years, 90 years old in the airport. I saw racist white Arabs with their gutra and their matob and all of that they wear. I saw them run through the airport and grab elder Nigerian sisters and Senegalese sisters and grab them and snatch them and just throw them across the airport. And I'd run to their white behinds and grab them and throw them against the damn wall. And couldn't speak Arabic, but I was telling them, that's my great-grandmother that you just, whether I ever met her before, that's my great-grandmother that I left in Africa generations down the line. I saw ghettos in Mecca. tell me nothing about Mecca. I saw them come out with bread in their robes, in their thobes, and black people be there stuck or stranded there because they just wanted to be somewhere close to what they call the sacred precinct. And I see them arrogantly walk out and throw bread up in the sky and let it hit the ground, and our people eat off the ground. In an oil-rich Saudi Arabia, pumping billions of barrels and billions of dollars. Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia, Saudi from a root etymologically, it's a similar root to Aswad, which means black, Arabia. If you're confused on that, read Chancellor Williams. Dr. Chancellor Williams said that all of that area changed from black to brown to white. From black to brown to white. That they drove us from the centers of power. And they set up in Saudi Arabia, as they call it today. They set up in what is called Israel today. They set up in Syria. They set up in Jordan. They set up in Morocco and Algeria, if I didn't say it. They set up in Egypt. They set up in Libya. They set up in all of those areas and drove us from the centers of power. And those areas changed from black to brown to white. You don't want to talk about that. You say, well, what about slavery? Let's talk about slavery in Islam. I haven't seen the slavery, but I'll tell you what I did see. I was in Medina at Masjid al-Nabi, the Prophet's mosque in Medina. I saw these men with their eyes back in their head. Their temples were recessed into their head, gaunt looking. Looking East African or looking Ethiopian or Somalian or Eritrean, which is all the same. All the same. Until a white man started his game over them. They were rough on the women in the mosque. They were just grabbing women and throwing them all over the place. I didn't mind as long as they were throwing the white women. I wasn't like Malcolm. I didn't say nothing about that. But if they put their hand on a sister, I'd grab the hand and check them. So I asked, who are these men? And people say, you don't know who that is? It's a whole group of them. I said, no, who are they? They said, those. They said, those are the eunuchs. My brain locked. I said, what are they, unique? What do they mean? I guess they are unique. They said, the eunuchs, you know what a eunuch is? I say, yeah. They say, yeah, you know, their reproductive, their regenerative organ, their sex organ was cut off by the white Arabs. I got furious. I said, what? They said they bring them over from Africa. And they cut their regenerative and reproductive organs off so that they can watch over their harems and watch over their many women, and they not have to worry about the African brother impregnating one of their women. I had nightmares, dreams about these brothers. For nights, they were very antisocial. They didn't want to deal with anyone. They stayed among themselves. They had this kind of resentment, as I said, for women and for anything outside of their immediate circle. I saw that to the degree that I could see it with my own eyes, because some of you, you asked them crazy questions. I didn't see that far. No, somebody will say, did you really see? That's a fool. And I know we got a question and answer period coming up, so I'm trying to discourage the fools before we even get started. So if you're thinking about asking me that, don't ask me no damn silly question. And anyway, there was nothing to see. They had been castrated. Castrated. Now that's going on today. So when there are rumors about slavery, because you're a Muslim, you might want to hide and say, well, I don't think so, and that's wrong, and it might be wrong, and it might be coming through the wrong channels. But the enemy having another plan.